Hey guys, Dr. Nick with Health Launch here. Today I want to talk about a topic that is sometimes a habit for people and sometimes it's annoying to people, and some people just love hearing this sound, but it's called cracking things, right? And I work as a chiropractor, and so I love hearing that little snap, crackle, pop when I make adjustments as well. But what you need to know is what that sound actually is and why it's not good to adjust yourself. There's a lot of videos online these days of people showing you how to pop your neck, how to pop your back. That can actually be really dangerous if you're not trained on how to do it properly, because people don't understand what's happening. And the reason that self-adjusting is such a problem, and we're going to use this as a model, just to give you a background real quick actually before we go into that, is if we look at the spine, every segment of your spine has a joint on each side. Some people call them facet joints, some people call them facet joints, but within those joints there's dense ligaments around it, and it creates a capsule. And inside that capsule, gas starts to build, carbon dioxide, nitrogen gas, kind of like we build gas in the stomach and we hear a burp. That popping sound you hear is like a joint burping. That's probably the easiest way to explain it. And so when we self-adjust, what we do is we're making little minor movements inside those joints, and you hear that release and you get that popping sound. Now, the reason that it becomes a problem when we self-adjust is if we're trying to forcefully just get something to pop, perhaps you get that rush of endorphins and you get that quick release of pressure and it feels better, but in the long run, 20-30 minutes later, that pressure's back. The pain didn't go away and you're wondering, just popping my back didn't help. That's not the case. You're probably adjusting a joint that's already mobile. So what happens is when you make that movement in the spine and you get a popping sound at the joint, if it's a joint that's already mobile and it's functioning and it's moving fine, you'll hear the sound and it feels great, but it doesn't do anything to actually fix your problem. What happens in the spine is you get joints that become fixated and they don't move properly. And so when an adjustment is made or a mobilization to a joint is made, force is applied to that specific area and it forces movement, and that's really what helps people get better in the long run. Or if you're someone who grabs your chin and forcibly rotates your neck, or you're twisting your back really fast in your chair all day at work, you're creating hypermobility in joints that are already moving. And that's the problem with self-adjusting, is you're taking joints that are already healthy and you're forcing them into these end ranges of motion and then really pulling against those ligaments. Over the long term, you create hypermobility or too much movement in those joints, and ligaments can become lax. So if you feel like you need an adjustment or something has to pop, what you need to see is your posture in a proper position? Why do you constantly feel that need to make an adjustment? Or talk to a professional who's trained in how to mobilize joints so that you can get the proper care and get the joints that need to be moved to actually start moving. Stop self-adjusting, especially these rotations where people grab their chin and twist the neck. It's so much rotation and stress put on the ligaments in the upper neck, you can really do some damage. I had a patient in my own experience who had a dream that she had adjusted her own neck, and she must have, because she woke up and she was unable to even turn her head for 2 weeks. It's dangerous stuff. Don't mess with it. Understand what's happening when you make those adjustments and have somebody who's trained to do it for you. Don't let this become a habit. Hopefully that was helpful in understanding why it's not good to self-adjust. If your kids are the ones who are constantly popping their knuckles, stop with all the "you're going to get arthritis" hype. What happens is you get hypermobility. And so if you know someone who's always self-adjusting, send this video to them, share it with them so that they understand what can actually happen if they're constantly adjusting joints that don't need it. And if you are somebody who's been self-adjusting, just stop. Don't make it a habit. Once your body gets used to not making those popping sounds all the time, then that sensation of needing to feel like your back cracked goes away. Work on your posture, work on stretching. If you're just stretching and you're not putting any force behind it, or you're just twisting for a stretch in the low back and you get some of those natural pops, that's okay, but stop being forceful with it. Hopefully that was helpful to answer any questions you've ever had about self-adjustments. If you liked the content of this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up so that other people who are interested in this topic see that this is valuable content. And if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, make sure you hit that red subscribe button below. That way every week you get new content that's going to help you live a healthier life. I'll see you in the next video.